Hello, my good friends. All you lovely souls out there are working hard on yourselves. You're just incredible bunch of souls out there. And I love each and every one of you. I want to, again, thank Angela for this. You made me cry, sweetheart. You made me cry. This is a good book. And I tell you, we would like to help all of you who write your books to help you sell them and carry them here for people that were interested in buying them and be part of the club as well. So if anyone's interested in writing books, but this is beautiful. And the thing is that, and she experienced just what you will experience, is when you reach a certain point, the universe will open up to you. And it's hard to describe because it's so overwhelming. But, thank you. The struggle that this individual had was horrible. She got to a point where she couldn't hardly move or eat. And no one could help her. No one could tell her what the problem was. That's sad stuff. But this is the type of individual soul that is highly spiritual and time to awaken. And a lot of you fit into this category where it's your time. And you must remember that we talk a lot about duality and all of this yin and yang and positive and negative and things like this. But in reality, that's only man's ideals. There is duality. There is, your acid and your base and all these things. But from another level, all this is cause and effect. Cause and effect is the driving force of all things. And if everyone would get this, if every preacher, every minister, every rabbi, every spiritual teacher around the world would get this and teach this, maybe things would turn around. Because when you see someone in a wheelchair, and you're a spiritual person, but you don't understand the issue of karma-driven or cause and effect driven, then you have a lot of sympathy, which, it's given. It's understandable. And you see someone suffering. If you're any type of an enlightened being, it's like, oh. But you must understand that this is all karma-driven. And karma is just another word for saying cause and effect. Cause and effect. You reap what you sow. It's that simple. So when you see someone suffering in a chair, you know that's a soul with various bodies, including the physical body. And that this soul has been on a journey. And during this journey, this soul hurt somebody, put someone in the same situation, and therefore they're in the same situation. You must understand that that's what Jesus taught, Buddha taught, all the spiritual giants taught this aspect. So, back in the early Christian days of the Inquisitions, now we're having the similar thing in the East. You must understand, what you do to someone else comes right back to you. Maybe not in this lifetime. So, understand that everything you have to deal with is things that you've created. Even to the very essences of what and how we eat. We all lift that hand and fork. Of course, unconsciousness is the ruling factor. All these different levels of states of consciousness. So the awakening process down at this level is definitely slow. And it's just because the drama is so inert. This is a very inert area of creation compared to the levels that you all know within inside of yourselves. And that's where the freedom is. There's an old saying, you must go in to get out. So there's a lot of these sort of things to help you to understand. And that's why I've been kind of bringing you along here spiritually as well, interlacing it with health. Because it's your survival throughout eternity. It's your survival to be conscious and aware. If not, you're a leaf blowing in the wind, and other souls will take advantage of you, use you, manipulate you. And that's on all levels, emotionally, mentally. Most of you can understand this. So taking time to get into the self is essential. And taking time not to get into the self egotistically, but in a form of observation, in a form of watching creation instead of participating in it. You're going to participate in it body-wise. But remember, everything you're experiencing, you've created. So what do you want to experience in the future? Health, happiness, vitality? Or do you want to be all crumpled up? I saw some lady at lunch today. She was a salad bar, and she couldn't even. She was have other foods at this place too. And I looked at her and I said, heavy meat eaters. She was so bent over, so parathyroid, so bent over. The poor thing couldn't hardly look up. And I just wanted to go over and say, sweetheart, I can tell you how to straighten that body up of yours. But I don't know where you break that line between privacy and, you know, I don't know. You know, you have to wait till that inner guidance pushes you and tells you to do something. You know? But it's enough to say, remember, cause and effect is the driving force of everything. Everything you're experiencing, you created. And I'm going to help you uncreate it if you have that desire. That's why I was sent here, and we'll help you uncreate that. Just not me. There's a lot of spiritual beings helping you. And you're seeing them. A lot of you are seeing them come to you. And this is vital at one level. The other level is like Angela Mia here, who almost became frozen. And I see this where people are literally becoming so acidic, they're becoming frozen. Almost like a big fibroid. So you understand that it is real simple. And you want to always keep health simple. Because we are so accustomed to the intellectual driving force here that we lost the simplicity and spirituality of us. And because of that, we're killing each other. We're creating incredible devices, but we don't have the maturity to deal with that. You know, here's a guy talking on a beautiful cell phone while his women and children are being blown up by some terrorist person or a person that thinks that they shouldn't be there. So we see all this now, but these are the lower rungs of creation. Get out of them. And the best way to get out of them is don't create more things in your lifetime. Just enjoy every moment for that moment. Remember Jesus said, become like little children. Buddha, live in the now. You know, be in that now. And just let all those things you created work themselves out, because you still have a lot to work out. A lot of people do. And you just let it work out. You don't create anymore. The problem with the mind, it creates for you. Thought can create for you. The problem is you must experience cause and effect. So remember that. And keep yourself free. Beautiful card. You also made me cry. I love it. But she also sent along this. This was in a dialysis center. Fork over your spare. I just got the color copy from the computer. Fork over your spare kidney. Holy crap. You know, this is what's out there. And it's just so sad. The world needs you guys so bad. Every one of you that can, get your health in order. Let your spirituality blossom. Just let go. Let go, relax, and live in every moment for that moment. Be happy. Fix your body. It's easy to understand that we do live in a sense of duality. One side of the coin is healing and one side is ripping. And the ripping side is the acid side. Hello. You never want to give up one of your kidneys, because we've talked about that quite a bit. Each kidney drains each side of the body respectively. Did they think God just threw in an extra tissue in case people didn't take care of it, and here you can use it? I mean, that's king size stupid. I just, you know, I think you're all seeing how unconscious the AMA is and how sickening that is. And yet, good pain management You know? So we have to start prioritizing, getting rid of that's killing people and doesn't work. But again, this is creation, up and down, back and forth, come and go, here and there. So I don't know. I'm only here to help us to all do what we're doing. Get healthy and open your spiritual door, because that's your survival. Surviving physically, yeah, that's good. But surviving beyond this world and in all the other levels that you have to yourself and understanding who you are, ranked superior, always. We don't have a name on this, but all I have to say is those are good soaps. Those are beautiful soaps. This is a card, and these are beautiful soaps. These are just beautiful soaps. Oh, it's on the back. See, they didn't turn on the back. Miami, Florida. Heike. Thank you so much, sweetheart. These are good soaps. Those are really good. I love things homemade, herbal, essential oil, flower essences, the things that wrap around you and hug you and go, oh, you feel so good. Chemicals, isolates, they've lost their synergistic love and bonds, and so they don't treat you the same. Now, I want to get on so I can get some answering some of your questions here. Oh yeah, I wanted to take this home. I'm putting up on our club site a whole thing on healing crisis, and the something that Angela went through and I've been through, and a lot of you have been through, is that when you start opening the door, and if you open it aggressively and your skin is backed up and you got a lot of fungus in you, you're going to see some rashes and extreme itching, almost to where you want to rip that skin off and throw it away. But you keep working it out. You can use antifungal salves, you can use heal-all salves, burn salves, you can use anything like that to help that. But it's tough to get rid of it 100%. But it will, as you keep detoxifying. I would say don't slow down, speed up, because it's better to get through it than to keep dealing with it, and then stopping and then having to go back through it again. Because if you don't go through it all the way, you're going to go back through it again and again and again. Look at all the people that could have cold and flu-like symptoms. And if you're a milk drinker, you're going to go through that again and again. Either you get a flu shot or not, you're going to go through it again and again and again. It has nothing to do with the flu. It's all congestion. It's all lymphatic. This is the home of virals, of bacterium, fungals. I mean, this is the sewer system. This is the where you would expect to see all that. Stagnation of a lake yields algae. Wrap it up, sell it, blue-green algae, make some money. But you ever see a lake that has lost its inlet and outlet? It becomes stagnant. And stagnation brings fungus and bacterium, because you have all levels of chemistry that needs to be broken down. And that's what's happening. Life not only builds itself up, but it'll break itself back down. We need atoms, and this is a total rearrangement of atom universe. You can't bring in new atoms to this universe. If you want to create something, you need atoms. Where are you going to get them? You have to use the ones that's here. Well, most of them are occupied. What does that mean? That means things die. Things lose their form. Dying is just losing the form. Transition, there's a lot of different words people use for this. Transition is a much better word than dying, of course, because dying makes you feel like you're dead and gone and nothing else. So transition. And, all right. So anyway, let me get on here. Ballooned and pocketed bowel. Wow. Andreas, I hope you're good and well. Good and well. Passed another kidney stone. Well, I've been on a great fast. I've been pumping the orange juice too. And that just, anytime you astringe, I would talk to you about those in pain too. Whenever you astringe tissue, like a lemon astringes your mucosa, if you've got a lot of acids in there, you could have some pain from that. And if you're already in pain, astringent pulls, and starts to clean. That's why cleaners are mostly astringents. For those that are in chronic pain, that have chronic acidosis, like in interstitial cystitis and arthritis of all types, fibromyalgia, lupus, Lyme's. You could have some pain as these acids come out, as you astringe these areas of dormancy. So real important to understand those sort of things. In level 2, we're going to talk a lot about that. I hope you guys like level 2. I think it's going to be good. This is a 31-year-old male. I'm on day 3 of a 7-day fast and not feeling too mobile right now. I bet. Since I'm not going outside anytime soon, I thought I'd take the chance to visit the archive, that is your brain, and with your permission, of course, thankfully there's very little traveling involved in doing that. Thank you. Well, universal mind, right? Universal mind means we're all here now anyway. In the universal mind, our minds are all tied to the one mind. That's why we all can think similar thoughts. That's why you have the Wright brothers flying here and the other guy, what was his name, flying in Europe. Same time, inventing similar aircrafts. They visited the universal mind. But there's astro museums. I mean, if you guys study some of that, you'll see there's all kinds of things out there that you can visit and have fun with. I mean, let this change your life completely into a whole world of adventure and joy and happiness and excitement. You know, don't care what's going on with them, the world. We make our own world and let them join us. Because if we join them, we have lost. The questions I have on a few different topics, I hope you don't mind answering them for me. They are: 1, can ballooning and pocketing of the bowel be reversed? Absolutely, but what causes that? Where would you go in your body for herniated tissue? You're absolutely right. Now, why would you go to the parathyroid gland for that? Because of PTH, right? Parathyroid hormone. And that, why? Because that helps the utilization of D and calcium. So now you can rebuild structure that is broken down. But let me ask you, why would you herniate anything? What side of chemistry would be involved? Because from one perspective, everything you look at is chemistry. Everything. Now, we spiritual people like the physics of everything as opposed to the chemistry, because chemistry is so mundane. But everything is chemistry. So from that perspective, what do we see? We see acidosis. Acidosis, acidosis. We know that acids are met with alkalis, and calcium is an alkali. So we know that calcium is used by the body to fight acidosis or to help neutralize acids, as you would take calcium or Tums when you have acid reflux. When you do that, however, when the body does that, where does it find the calcium? It finds it in your connective tissue, it finds it in your bones, it finds it in your teeth, it finds it in your fingernails. So then you see the ridging in your fingernails, the weakness in the fingernails, then you see the prolapsing, the sagging, the skin, the wrinkles. You know, you can just keep on going down that line. The ballooning of the bowel, the prolapsing of the bowel. Also spasticity of the bowel. Absolutely. Going to be a lot of work, but you want to do it. And you got to really clean up that bowel. Another thing you'd want to do is what? The very thing you have to do in every single case. You must move those lymphs. If you don't move those lymphs, I better put move and filter, or filter and move those lymphs. Filter and move those lymphs. And when you do that, now you're removing interstitial acidosis, which is part of the big problem of what? GI tract. Malabsorption, and then the ballooning, the pocketing, the diverticulitis, losis, I'll say. Okay, if so, would a high-fiber diet be more effective than a low-fiber diet insofar as high in juices to reduce the workload on the intestines? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I'll say this, and I'm going back to the lovely soul that made this chart for us. We're frugivores. Simple, simple, simple. Why would anybody want to fight that, in that fruits are the best tasting foods on the planet when grown organically, picked ripe off the plant or tree? Berries are the most nutritious items on the planet. All the berries. We even sell it. We even make MLMs around that. Melons, they're okay. Really good, gentle, soft, nice. I say that. Watermelon is one of the most aggressive. It's red. And why is it red? It's aggressive. So we like that one when we're detoxifying. So I'll say that eat the foods your body's designed for. Period. Eat the food your body's designed for, because when we intellectually try to interface with nature, we've been so conditioned from propaganda crap and from concepts from idiocy that we don't know the truth. Eat what your body's designed. I think we've more than proved that we're frugivores. Now, with that in mind, some vegetables, okay. Notice why we cook vegetables? Because they're hard to digest, so we cook them up. They're easier to digest cooked up. Too much fiber. Some people actually get constipated on a salad. Go figure, but they do. So eat what your body's designed to eat. Fruits, berries, and melons. And that'll do you well, my friend. I'm already using lots of herbs, including the GI broom. Ooh, yeah. Now that's a strong astringent. That's why sometimes if you're highly inflamed, like IBS and stuff, you might feel that. That's because it's pulling, it's sucking on your bowel wall, on the mucosa. Mucosa. And that mucosa produces mucus. It's also absorptive, like a sponge. The mucus is for protection. The absorption is for what? Nutrition. I'm already using, okay, that's good. You're kicking butt, man. Organic versus inorganic minerals. Neither one. Eat what your body's designed to eat. When you start intellectualizing, I need minerals, now you're in trouble. Because minerals, keep in mind, guys, minerals are the lowest energetic form of chemistry there is, elementals. The more you isolate an element, or compounds into elements, the more fundamental and the more basic it is. But you notice that sometimes it's harder to, you create side effects with that. It's almost like chemistry has to work together for everything to work properly. You can't just have one without the other. Everything works synergistic together. That's why we are a team. It's not just me, we are a team. In our cells, only because I see you and I see God as one and the same. And that's what you have to strive for, is the Rumi effect, where you see everything as God. Because it is. So that really makes you wonder. You have to separate the finite from the infinite. So, I mean, you can tear your awareness up going that. Fun stuff. In our cells, only truly use organic minerals. How do people seem to be able to build mass and substance and sustain themselves on a diet of cooked dead food? Well, most people have a lot of fat on them. Most people are not muscled up properly. And those that have muscles that put them on with protein, of course, they're gonna go. Those are false. You forced your body to put on big muscles. But in doing that, you've created extreme acidosis. You're losing your kidneys. You're losing your bowels. You know, you can go on and on and on why you don't do protein to build muscle. But why would someone that's eating properly, eating the diet their body's designed to eat, why would they not develop muscles or anything on fruit? Primates do. Why would humans not? Could the key word be malabsorption? Look at the complex food man has to pound sometimes to put on weight. That's not how God intended it. Just eat the food your body's designed to eat. And you can take anybody down that road to frugivorism. But I don't expect people to be frugivores. But maybe in the future generations. When you see what it did to Angela and all these other great souls, myself, all these great souls out there, let me tell you, you start to understand that that in the future, if man can sustain on fruits, he's going to be one massive spiritual entity here physically. And I don't know if that's even possible or ever meant to be. You know, this you reap what you sow thing, this karma thing, there's got to be worlds where this is worked out. Not every world can be a heaven. So there's worlds where this can be worked out. Every once in a while, we're sitting around and collecting souls, so to speak. And that's what we're doing now. We're opening the door of awareness. We're cutting shortcuts to these things so you guys can open up and go. Have some fun. Now, is there perhaps a little remaining life in some of those minerals after the cooking of them? Come on. You know what? The problem with cooking, what all does cooking do to tissue or to chemistry? Heat, as acid, breaks apart and rebonds. So when you cook, you're breaking apart a lot of the chemistry that was originally put together, and it's rebonding. The water solubles, which is your Bs and your flavonoids, which is your vitamin C complex, they're destroyed. So now you're dealing with complex structured amino acids, saturated fats, chemistry that's rebonded, and now what do you got? I mean, look at when you process, which is cooking, when you process an ultra-heat milk, and you take it up toward margarine, and you start getting it up toward lecithin, and what's the next stage? Plastic. Plastic, and that people eat lecithin all the time for cholesterol. I used to sell it in the stores all the time. I didn't know it was, what, 2 or 3 steps away from plastic. Oh, well, you know, a long learning curve down at this level. I've studied your book and know that you suggest using nuts and seeds sparingly when detoxing. How cautious should we be with nuts, seeds, and beans which are sprouted? I don't think you should do them at all while you're detoxing. Not at all. If you want to detox properly and you want a good ride, not at all. Now, with that said, you cheat once in a while, who cares? Beans are probably the worst. If you sprout them, okay. But now you're still with a very concentrated food. You know, beans are high sulfur, so you have a sulfur. You've got enzyme inhibitors. Of course, you're breaking them down to sprout them. You have high phytic acid, but how far do you get along? You know, so when you're detoxifying, isn't the time to consume complexity. It's a time for simplicity. Remember? Relax. Fruits, berries, and melons. But now, wait a minute. If we have to do that to get well, shouldn't we be doing that more often? Or maybe all the time? Interesting thought. Also regarding Ehret. Oh, here it is. I've just read some books written by Arnold Ehret. Good deal. I like that guy. He was a good dude, I thought. Did a lot of my attention toward fruitarianism, but so did a lot. A medical doctor did too. Wrote a book on fruitarianism. Turned my head around. So, you know, there are some guys out there. Written by Arnold, both you and him seem to agree on most things. Yeah, because basically truth is truth. I mean, everyone has their own little take in certain avenues. But the bottom line, most of our focus is simplistic, universal, and the way nature does it. Follow nature, you can't go wrong, you know. Although it seems his understanding of the lymph system wasn't as well understood as your... Yeah, well, you know, you can understand that. His whole thing was mucus. But that's a step. His step, of course, helps us all in the future. Our steps will help the future young ones. And we have a ton of young ones here. You 15-year-olds and 17-year-olds that are writing me, you are our future. Getting your health together and learning these high spiritual factors and health factors will change this world into a much better way station. I mean, a place to stay. Both you, let me see here. Why do you think it is that he states that you should only see sediment in your urine when you're cleansing? It seems that when he was in tip-top shape, he wasn't seeing any sediment. Well, I don't know. I didn't know what his lymph system looked like. Back then, he probably had a fairly clean lymph system, to tell you the truth, particularly in his level of activity. I mean, he beat us all. He's a fruitarian. So I have no idea to answer that. I filter every day. I filter but I don't eat a lot of cooked foods and stuff. I have some cooked vegetables once in a while, but my intake of food is high raw. But I filter every day. Every time I pee, I better filter. I mean, once in a blue moon if I'm sucking down the water too much, but even then, you know, you need to filter. Because every day you're creating waste by the cells, and every day you must be filtering waste out. You don't want to poop every week or something when you think you've had enough in the colon to let go, right? Also regarding Ehret, what's your opinion on avocados being a mucus-forming food like he states? You know, I can't remember him stating that, but it's been a lot of years since I read Arnold. But I have to say, I eat a fair amount of avocados, and I don't get any mucus from it. So I don't know what he's stating. Now, if you're that pure, you know, I can't say. You know, every level, and this is what you guys have to understand, is that every level has its own rules, its own experiences, and its own thing. So at one level, can't understand another level. And at one level, the rules apply, and at another level, they don't. From one level, there's karma, reincarnation, duality, and from another level, there's no such thing. It's all about where your awareness is and what level you're at. So every level has its own take, my friend, and that's why you can't get upset. But at the same time, some of these low levels have to be terminated. I mean, they're used up. And we have to terminate some of these low levels of consciousness because, Jesus Christ, they're killing people. They're not conducive to life and the sprouting of life. I love eating them and would love to keep eating them. I love them and I eat them. Do you think the human body is equipped to dealing with low mucus-forming foods like avocados? Oh, absolutely, man. In Chinese medicine, I know they believe the spleen helps deal with the mucus in some degree. Well, again, you know, it seems like even in traditional Chinese medicine, the understanding of the lymph system isn't there well. But mucus is of the lymphatic system. So understand the body's just divided up into systems. Just like your house is, your car is, you have the electrical system, you have a fuel system, you have a eliminative system. You have all that. Well, you have all that in the body. You know, it's just a machine that runs itself, heals itself. A machine. Do you think the human... Okay, let me see here. I know they believe the spleen. The spleen detoxifies the blood. The blood has to clean itself. Well, everybody thinks the blood uses the kidneys to clean itself. It uses the spleen. That's where you refurbish the blood cells. That's where you rebuild the blood. Big organ. The spleen is a lymphatic and blood organ. It's a big deal. And yet they get removed all the time. Do you need to be totalitarian like Eric was, or can we chill out and enjoy the equipment? You know what? I'm more as a chiller-outer, obviously. You know, I've had my days where I was strict. I was another Dan McDonald. Strict. I don't know where he's at now. Dan and I talked about a year ago. He came to our last class a year ago, I think it was. Maybe 2. I don't know. Time's flying pretty quick. But he was talking about bringing himself into balance, and that's some of the problems, is working this through the art of balance and keeping your consciousness stable to where you're in control most of the time. Try to be in control all the time. But with that said, you know, this is a process, and you can't beat up on anybody because it's not easy to move from generations of cooking and proteins and things like that into an understanding that we're islander people. We just migrated. Because we migrated didn't change the fact that we're frugivores. And matter of fact, you would think there has been some genetic mutations, and there has been. The skin changed from black to white, and some people, all kinds of things happened. But eventually, it has led us to where we are now genetically. You have to stop and look that right now we're a result of the past. So, when anybody thinks the past was good for those that migrated out of the tropics, think again. We are in the worst genetic slumber ever, and since we started using the allopathic community to treat symptoms and to use antibiotics, we have rushed our genetics into Hellville. And since pharmaceutical world, we've slingshot our genetics into Hellville. So now we're in serious trouble. Someone asked me a minute ago about DNA regeneration. Absolutely. Got to understand consciousness. You have to understand. That's why in school, guys, I show you the map. We go over the God worlds. You've got to understand how creation is put together. It will help you to finally understand why all this is happening to everybody and what it is. And remember, this is your chance to get out. Take it. I have a friend who has colitis. That's inflammation of the colon. And where would that be? Interstitial. What does the word interstitial mean? Around the cells. There's spaces around all your cells. What could be around all those spaces? Fluids. What kind of fluids? Interstitial fluid / lymphatic fluids. Sewer system. Protection of the cell. Lipid-based system. Let me see here. Over the period of 6 months, he's gradually managed to relieve himself of the symptoms he was experiencing. Now listen to this. Oh, on the advice of a naturopath, he's done this by consuming tons of protein and probiotics. You know, that naturopath needs to just, throw in the towel, find another occupation. Because that naturopath's walking the same road that medical doctors are. You're going to give a high protein, this naturopath is stupid. You're going to give high protein to colitis when all the facts show and state, all the studies show that colon cancer has been linked to proteins? I mean, that's insanity for a naturopath to do that. You see how we're decaying in our health consciousness? You guys are the stable ones. Please stay stable. Don't fall to this idiocy and stupidity where one side can't see the other side. This naturopath should have been trained a lot better than this. I don't know what books this naturopath studied in their school, but it wasn't true naturopathy. So to call yourself a naturopath and you're using high proteins and probiotics to get rid of colitis? So this boy is waking up. You know, we talked about this in another video. Sometimes, I'll give you an idea, for those that have ever had ulcers, the best way to get to help your pain with an ulcer is what? Eat. Right? Right. Now, what happens to the ulcer in the meantime while you're eating to keep the pain down? It's getting a whole lot worse. This man or this person is going to wake up to extreme pain, if not colon cancer. This is stupid, 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 and I don't know what to say about it, but this guy's got to, whoever this is, got to find another naturopath. Let him review these videos or this one, because wrong information. You don't give acid foods to someone with any type of inflammation. Period. 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 Man, he's done this by consuming, while slowly reducing the medication the Olapath had originally given him. How is this? It isn't. It's just what I said. The time is going to see explosion. Well, I'll tell you though, coming off the medication too, do you think it's just short-term symptom relief? Absolutely. This is just like an ulcer. And let me tell you, this is the big no-nos. The big no-nos. This is why you get colitis, is the lymph system again, and go back to the very fact that proteins break down kidney tissue. I had a handful of nuts the other night, a big handful of nuts. Ended up in the emergency room with kidney stone number 2. And more pain than I've ever been in my entire life. And I've had, now I'm breaking them loose, but I'm pulling them out with my fruits. And it isn't fun. It isn't fun. So, get away from the protein. Shock my kidneys. You know, your body doesn't deal well with protein. And anybody doesn't get that, I don't know what to tell you. All right. So thanks for the questions, though. I appreciate that. I'm feeling a little frisky today, so forgive me. But I'm getting real tired of hearing naturopaths recommending high-protein antibiotics and probiotics. It's like stupidity just seems to reign now in our field. And it's like, oh my God, you guys, that's why I keep telling you, I don't mean to, to whatever, but you guys are so important. Thank you. You're just so important to this world. I can't tell you enough. We've got to bring the proper truth to this world. But, you're always going to have people go down those roads. This is Brittany. Hi, Brittany. I recently was watching your YouTube video, and I was very intrigued with the theory of when eating raw foods, your eye color changes. Oh, absolutely. Now I understand that this theory doesn't work for everyone, but only the people with pigment melanin on the iris. No. So I was wondering if could send a photos of my eyes, and if you could be able to tell me if my eye has pigment on the iris, and if going on raw food diet changes that color. Brittany, eye changes colors in regard to the 4 stages that I think we all accept universally: acute, subacute, chronic, and degenerative. Your eye is an incredible map. And it exposes. It's interesting how it exposes the lymph system. It's almost as if that lymph system builds up in an area of tissue, and also correspondingly builds up in the fibers of the eye, where the rods and cones are. I mean, it's like, wow, crap. I mean, these are God things, guys. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Everything's frequencies, everything's chemistry. I mean, you have to get with all that. we have coming out of extreme dark agey stuff, and you guys are the light bearers. I don't know what to say, and you're needed so bad. So don't give up. Don't let pain stop you. Go in and fight it out. Get those acids out. Yeah, send me your pictures, and make sure you make a little note about YouTube, Brittany. I'll look at them and I'll talk to you all about her eyes on this. But it don't matter what color eyes you are. You have blue or brown, and I don't care who you are or anything about melanin, you will still change your eye color back to your normal color when you fix its reflection. And its reflection is the chemistry that lies within your tissues. That's simple. And it's had a lot of years behind it, and I love it. You guys are going to love it. Marcy's going to show you at the class on iridology in the middle side of it, the head side of it, the different areas of the brain and how it affects the way you want to either kill yourself or the way you are sexually or everywhere else. And she's going to show you how to read your eyes in that way too. Should have some fun here. Oh, my name is Davy. Hi, Davy. I love how you say that. There sure seems to be so many more abandoned strays recently, and they usually have a health issue. So I was hoping you could address the overall detox protocol for kittens, and then also my specific concern. Kittens is interesting. I would just use herbs on cats. Felines, I would just use herbs. Going raw on a cat, difficult. If any of you have had any success with that, let us know. But we've had minimal. We try to do the more raw meats and stuff like that, but we use the herbs on the cat. The dogs, they're omnivores. You can do total fruits and veggies on those guys. I mean, we've had tens of thousands of those around the world. People getting their dogs back into health. Of course, horses the same way. Of course, these are herbivores and all your other llamas and all your other things like that. So you always remember that they have the same type of makeup, except their GI tract is totally different. You know, they have some things that are a little bit different to deal with the high acid foods that they're constantly eating. They're short, it's designed. I mean, going back to the recommendation of a high protein diet in a Homo sapien and a lack of studying of the GI tract of carnivores is frustrating to me, because people are making claims like that and they don't even understand how the anatomy and the physiology of each of these vertebrae are different in respect their dietary habits and in relationship to that. So I don't know. You know, we know, and we just keep on going and we all work together as we grow. As you guys learn things, share it with me, and I'll share as I grow, and we'll keep growing and build an incredible educational tool here so we can have healers all around the world and people don't have to suffer. And people like Angela can get out of their incredible places they get into. Sad stuff. Good job. Good job, honey. That's all I got to say. And let her be a light to all the ones that are suffering where the body is almost frozen without any mobility. Understand that this is an acid condition, and that the more solid and rigid you become, the more acidic you are, the more dehydrated you are. And the only way out of this is to reverse. Simply reverse how you're creating this. Look at what you're eating. Look at your lifestyle. You know, medical doctors love to blame everything but your lifestyle. That's their downfall. Voodoo. To me, it's voodoo. It's like the psychiatrist over in Europe. I agree with him. It's voodoo. I agree with him totally. The things from the outer world are coming to get you. Jesus. Cause and effect. Every single thing in your life is cause and effect. If you want God, make that the cause. If you want health, make that the cause. All right? Yesterday I was driving from my son's home after babysitting my new grandson, and a random thought came into my mind. I wish I could help more kittens. I already have 2 other rescues. I literally get home and my neighbor kids came to me with a kitten. I wonder if that thought was just random. That's the beauty of listening to your thoughts. Don't be the thinker. Listen to those that are talking to you. That's why it's better to be the listener as opposed to the talker. Better to be the listener as opposed to the thinker. Isn't it? You'll hear a lot more, and you'll understand a lot more, and you'll see a lot more. Okay. I can't afford another kitty, but I will keep, and I tell you, you know what? This has got to be a female, because only females talk lovingly like that. All right. Okay. Oh, yeah, you have the ankylosis. Here's my question for dear Dr. Morse. My question for Dr. M is that she was what I believe to be an umbilical cord hernia protruding from her tummy, about a ½ inch outward and soft to the touch. Real possible. Real possible. Please help me help her heal. Well, again, when we just talked about that early on here about herniations and aneurysms, things like this, where tissue gives way. Well, again, when you're looking at strengthening tissue, you're looking at connective tissue, and that connective tissue has a high calcium component. It's directly involved in parathyroid hormones, so this is why. But also remember causative effects. Now, there could have been a weakness there from birth and blah, 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 blah. But in that said, why didn't it strengthen up? And look at diet. When you have weaknesses, even genetics, if you're on this high level of energetics and chemistry, it will go back, remember genetically, DNAs, and rebuild that tissue. I've seen it every time. You can't deny it. Some of you are rebuilding your genetics this very moment. Some of you already told me you rebuild your genetics. I mean, it's coolest stuff, and you can see it in the eye. Incredible stuff. Instead of being pessimistic, people need to be optimistic. Instead of being the negative, be the positive, if you want to look at it in that way. Because we all want to weed out that which is not true, no matter what it is, and ride the road to truth. A better road, and it'll keep that karmic wheel down a little bit. This morning, I started her on 1 drop of a mixture of K, B, adrenal, lung, lymph, and parasite T, and droppers full of Hill All T. Would love any suggestions how to keep a poultice on her tummy. That's a good question. Good question. I'd probably strap as opposed to poultice. And I mean, you could do a poultice under the strap, no question. But that poultice wants to be strengthening. I'd probably take the Bones formula or just comfrey and make it like a comfrey salve, or buy a comfrey salve. Trouble is, most of the salves in these health food stores are crap. I mean, look at the difference. They're just not rich. But I might, in the future, have a nice, good, rich comfrey salve, you know. But that's knit bone. And get that on that topically. But internally, you want to think of parathyroid. You'd have to give me a lot more before you adventure. It's just age, everything else, and so we can look at dosages and stuff. Internally, you want to trip up the parathyroid. Now, if this is a young baby or something, you have to go pieces of parathyroid or use endocrine gland formulas. I would definitely go right into the kidneys, the adrenals, you know, that sort of thing, to fix everything else in acidosis. Because when you go back and wonder why did not this heal, the common word is going to be acidosis. And you're going to go right back to the kidneys and right back to the adrenals and all that side as well. I remember to keep thoughts and emotions focused on the positive and be careful what you wish for. Absolutely, sweetheart. That is really true. It's almost better not to wish for anything. Because, and remember this is a lesson I've learned for years. If a door doesn't want to open, don't push it open. Not a good idea. When you push a door open that doesn't want to open, 99% of the time you regret opening it. So I'm just saying, if the door doesn't want to open, turn and go another way. But remember, you're the central consciousness anyway. You're just going through doors and going through creation and doing the do, playing the game, being the drama, creating the soap operas that exist. But who is the person going to the door? That's you. And who are you anyway? The universe is answering almost immediately these days. Don't you love it? Thank you. You know what? And you are all so beautiful. And this is what's happening. We are opening those spiritual window to all these worlds. We're opening it. All you guys are helping opening this huge influx of beautiful golden energy. Don't be surprised if you guys find golden rain around your house and your room. Take a look around. I'll make sure some of you get the golden rain of love. Oh, this is T-I-N-G. Dang. I guess this is, oh, Tina, living in Michigan. I know you, Tina, living in Michigan. I have been watching your videos for quite a while. I know you have. Thanks for all you have done. God bless you. God bless you, Tina. How are you, sweetheart? I have had chronic acne. There you go. Started at age 17. So here's a female, of course, and females are, you know, body's everything, having acne. My sister has the same issue. Huh. Couldn't be we have a family of kidney and adrenal weaknesses, could we, with a backed up lymph system, could we? Absolutely. I developed chronic eczema 4 years ago. It was an extremely miserable experience. I have eczema all over my body, and the condition on my face and hands are the worst. Well, all I can tell you, and you know this, Tina, we have addressed this so many times, you've got to get yourself into those high pure levels of detoxification. Because you can't worry about the process to get there. You want to get there. And that's a big thing that we have to teach the world. You're in a modem, in a paradigm of detoxification. It is not all guns and roses and horns and sirens and beautiful balloons and all that. There's the hell. And Angelica tells you right here some of her hell. Some of you are going to go through hell, more pain than less, worse looking on the outside, but understand why and understand that we all know that. Look at all those that have gotten rid of their acne and things on the YouTube here. Just on this side alone, tons of people have gotten rid of it already. You've got to dig in, because I don't know anything other than getting your kidneys to filter and getting this lymph moving, getting your adrenals up to turn all that on and start moving your lymph. Listen, and when you have psoriasis, you don't have psoriasis, it's eczema, but still same type of thing. You must clean, 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 sweat, 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 and it might not look that good for a while. But Tina, by now you should have had this, or a lot of it, so I don't know. Where are you at? It's all extremely miserable experience. I have to tell you, all this whole level, no offense, but, you know, can be a very miserable experience. That's why. You must be the creator. Find the truth. Ride the wagon of truth. Because it's the unconsciousness that gets you. It's your unawareness that gets you every time. Not your awareness. So develop your awareness. And you can only develop awareness when you stop thinking so much and buying into all the propaganda that's out there and start stepping back from things and observing things. Start looking at things like crossword puzzles and putting pieces together. I used to have standard American diet. I realized my eczema reaction is strongly related to my food. Don't you think? Absolutely. I mean, you have to understand we're a reflection of chemistry and physics. There's no voodoo. There's no diseases. There's none of this. Cause and effect rules everything that you experience in the physical, the emotional, and then the lower mental. Cause and effect. And just whatever you see. So you know, part of that cause and effect is genetics, no question. But you as the soul was put in that body. Why? And it's for you to unwind. This is your opportunity. You wouldn't be even on this site, Tina, if it wasn't your time to unwind your spirituality and your health issues. This is your opportunity to do it. Not saying we have all the answers, but we have a lot of them for you to help you get down the road. And the more you guys are doing, the more answers we know and we're learning, and it's just a beautiful thing. Setting things straight. So dive in there, Tina, full bore. You know, there's ups and downs. There's no question. Things work worse before they get better. No question. People get too thin. No question. But when you pull your train into the Wellville station, you are a beautiful being. So the track can be long for some of you, but there is Wellville Station for each and every one of you. And then there's also beyond the Oz. All right. Then I control my animal meat intake, less than 10% of my diet. Why are you even eating it? This is the thing is, you can't come bitching. Now remember, I'm feeling a little frisky today, but you can't come bitching when you're not eating properly. You can't come bitching when you're eating dead animals. You can't get over skin conditions when you eat dead animals. You're not detoxifying. You don't detoxify, you don't get well. It's that simple. Detoxification is the key to Wellville. Why? Because it unwinds what you've created. It's that simple. Simple, simple, simple. And when you unwind what you created, you will be the most joyous, happy, feeling good, light, and awake that you've ever felt. And now your journey truly begins. You're just playing in fields of dreams, bumping back and forth between the positive and negative forces, being unconscious. Now become conscious, and don't be the leaf blowing in the wind. Don't be the bouncer between the two poles. You control your destiny from consciousness, okay? From your awareness. And we're feeding that as much as we know of truth. We're feeding that, and you guys, we've proved it for 43 years or 44 years. This is my 44th year. I've proved this for 4 years. I don't need anybody to tell me proof because I've already seen it. You guys on YouTube are proving it to the world. You're showing the world the godly way and the higher way of expression. And that's just what this world is craving. This world is hungry. We're so constipated, so sick, that we think killing women and children is what God wants. We're so sick from not eating living foods and being constipated that we can't even think. We're not happy. Our bodies are ravaged with acids. We're full of pain. A lot of people are mutated. We've been listening to them. We've been doing everything they've been telling us. Who is they? Start listening to what God's telling you. Or that which is your spiritual being or your spiritual angel. Whatever. Whatever you wish to call these spiritual beings that dedicate their beingness to helping others. And they're all over the place. And this planet has more spiritual beings now than ever. There's so many spiritual beings helping people on this because this planet is decaying and we're trying to get it up a little bit. I used to, let me see here. My acne got extremely bad. Let me see. However, I was eating lots and lots of nuts and avocados every day. My acne got extremely bad. Didn't I say no protein from the beginning? I've said no protein, honey. Oh, I had no clue why was that until this year. I found 80-10. Okay. Fruitarian diet and tried to reduce my nut fat intake. Right now I am 98% raw food vegan. Good deal, Tina. That's important. Sometimes I boil vegetable soup for dinner. My eczema has improved a lot since my high raw food diet, but I'm still suffering severe acne. Go deeper, sweetheart. You're doing perfect. Now take that next step into the fruitarian level. Fruits, berries, and melons, whatever you want to call that. Call it the detoxification diet. Dr. Morse's tropical diet is what I call it. But whatever you want to call it. Fruits, berries, and melons. Get your kidneys filtering. Go after the tissues that are responsible for this. Go after your kidneys. Get them filtering. Go after your adrenal glands that control the kidneys. And your nervous system, the autonomic, and all your steroids and everything else. Go after your lymphatic system. Go after your GI tract, honey. Go after these tissues and clean them. Get them eliminating better. Get your skin sweating. Get your thyroid up if you're not sweating. And start cleaning yourself. No matter what you see, keep cleaning these acids out. And you'll clear, you'll clear, you'll clear, you'll clear. And pretty soon it's all gone, honey. It's all gone and you're done. The more you allow this to stay, you're going to pop basils, squamouses, and everything else. You know, you want to be real careful. This isn't just a rash. So, I have, so she's watched the videos. I should keep reading, right? So that fruit is easier to digest and better. So I have been on melon grape diet for 3 weeks now. My acne and eczema are getting a little better, but still have very stubborn. Get your kidneys filtering, sweetheart. Kidneys filtering, kidneys filtering. I am a female and super frustrated about my facial appearance. Kidneys filtering, kidneys filtering. Please help me on what to do next. Kidneys filtering, 2 kidney formulas, one capsule, 1 tincture, GI tract formula. Do the GI broom. Really get in and clean. Get the lymph system. Do a capsule and a tincture. Go aggressively. Get on the 14-week protocol if you can afford. Whatever. Just go deeper. You notice that the more you go deeper, Tina, the better you get. You notice that? Or this is a good time to try to conceive. Oh, no, I'd wait. No, I'd wait. Tina, wait, honey. Wait until you get yourself filtering. Fix your kidneys, fix your adrenals, get everything done. Don't you want a good, strong baby? You don't want to have a baby like your sister. Everybody's just passing around the genetic pool here. Get your baby stronger. I'm telling you, you don't want to bring inferior babies in right now. The medical doctors are gaining control of your babies and killing them. I'm telling you. If you think that's bizarre, it ain't. Look at the statistics. The amount of children being killed allopathically is like never seen before. So you just, and I'm telling you, when the statistics get to the public, you're going to see some serious things. There's more kids being killed right now by the allopathic community than you've ever seen. Babies. They don't understand what's going on. They're trying to apply their philosophy of diseases and shit like that to these infants. They don't understand genetics. They don't understand tissues. They don't understand acids and lymph. So what are they doing? Tying stomachs around esophaguses and stuff like that? Botox on infants and stuff like that? Giving them botulism, stuff like that? This is insanity. Don't fall into that. Get yourselves free from that. Let that remember, karma driven. Everything is karma driven. These guys have got a lot of karma to pay, and those souls are going to pay. You cannot not pay it. You can't say, I'm sorry, God, I didn't mean to do it. You can go to a priest and say, sorry, priest, I want to repent. Sorry, guys, sorry, priest. You might think that works, but God doesn't have that sort of thing. Sorry, I just killed some time. Sorry, forgive me. That doesn't work. Everything is karma-driven. Sorry or not, karma-driven. Cause and effect. Physics. You can't get out of that. Even the spiritual beings don't try to get out of that. They've learned that. They can't disturb the natural rhythm of these worlds. Sorry, I feel a little passionate today, but my God. It's overwhelming sometimes. That's why I take a little break once in a while, guys, so I don't friggin' burn out. In the past 4 months, my husband and I tried to having a baby girl, but I have irregular menstrual cycle. Ooh, look at this, guys. What's wrong with her? Irregular menstrual cycle, and I'm not sure if I ovulate normally or not. Irregular menstrual cycle. So we know to have eczema this bad on the face, we've got some serious problems, don't we? And that means that her lymph system is literally backed up all through her head. In her brain, cerebellum, everywhere. So she's at irregular menses. So where's the first place we're going to go? You're right. You guys are good. Pituitary. Absolutely. But her pituitary is probably so much lymphatic system around, so much lymph around that it's suppressing it. People get pituitary tumors now all the time because they're so backed up in sinus and lymph in the head. Pituitary tumors are on the rise like crazy. And that's what you got to have irregular menses. So you want to put yourself on the female reproductive. Get it now, because now I still have the false unicorn in it. Take that female reproductive formula for about 3 months. Strengthen the ovaries and the uterus, and it'll trip the pituitary. If that female formula, which it seems to do it every time, but if it doesn't trip up the pituitary enough, you're going to have to go on a pituitary glandular. But you're going to have to get that in order. But why don't want to have children? All of you ladies, listen to this. You don't want to have children when you have health problems, because you're going to pass it to your children. Look at your eyes. God's given us a great tool. We've had great healers through the times, from Jensen to Linlar to Pesky, that brought out iridology. We've got nice, simple tools that everybody can learn, use at home, teach your children to look at your inner world of health and know what to fix. We have the herbs all set there, tissue-specific, to work with that, and we have the food. We understand now what species we belong to. With all those things, well, Bill is assured. But don't have babies when you have health problems, or you're going to pass them. And remember, your babies are downline, so they're worse. And you have this insanity allopathically going on. It could be a real serious problem. All right. Or is this a good time to try to conceive? I don't think you really mean that, right? Is there any side effect on conceiving if I take your herbs? You know, don't try to conceive. I'll be truthful. That's just my opinion. Now, prenatal vitamins, superfood blend. Oh, superfood blend. Oh, let me tell you, want a good, strong child? Superfood blend. Forget prenatal vitamins. Superfood blend. You will appreciate it because it's so high in calcium, it'll stop any sucking of calcium out of you from the baby. But wait until you clean yourself up, sweetheart, because this isn't good. You're already showing me a pituitary weakness. You give your baby a pituitary weakness, you're facing improper growth. It can be anything, from heights to anything in the body. Improper growth to anything. Mutation of anything. You're going to be real careful here. I feel like I look more pale after eating only raw vegan diet. Get in sun and get vitamin D in sun. You must get into the sun, Tina. You know it? Is that a sign of nutritional deficiency? No. I haven't used table salts for years now. Great. How can I get sufficient iodine out of the food you eat, dear? Seaweed? Absolutely. You can supplement kelp. Take superfood. Has kelp, everything in it, all you need. Take a little superfood blend. You're good with that. You're going to get it out of those. But what about the utilization of iodine? What about the utilization of all your other minerals? What about all that? Don't we need good glands to do that? And your main gland is down, your adrenals are down, your kidneys are down. What's going on here? See what I'm saying here? You said that we are not, and aren't you the Tina that asks these questions back there in the back all the time, honey? You said that we are not herbivore, but I heard there are lots of vitamins, enzymes, and minerals in dark leafy vegetables for herbivores. And if you want to take that and you feel like you need more because more is better, which it isn't, it's utilizing the chemistry you're eating, but it's making sure you're eating properly raised and picked food. But with that said, you can make green drinks, and do that. Do you think humans can get all the nutrition solely from fruits? Where's B12 recourse? Please advise. I've already talked about B12, honey. Look up the videos. Nutritional solely from fruits? Absolutely, if they're organic raised properly. However, with that said, in these earlier stages, I don't mind green drinks and things like that. I don't mind anything like that, Tina, honey. So you can do that. But detox, you got to detox and fix. And if detoxing with fruits, berries, and melons and herbs cleans and fixes and repairs even genetics, what's that saying as using it as a typical diet every day? It's going to keep making me healthier, and I'm going to get so healthy I can't stand myself. All right. I told you, I'm feeling frisky today. That's that grape fasting. Grape fasting takes me way out there. Man, I got so much energy now. Woo-hoo-hoo. I remember watching a video where you were talking about your son experiencing bald spots because of his work hat. Yeah, that's what he claims. But I can tell you, his diet sucks. He's got, I raised him on fruit till he was about 6 or 7. Well, then he wanted some salads, so I got him salads. And then about 12 or 13, he started staying overnight with friends, and then, of course, started eating meats and things like that. And he's been a horrible person in terms of diets and things like that. Now he's had digestive problems, severe digestive problems. He throws up all the time, stuff, and I'm sitting there. You can only tell, even your own kin, so much. Now, he's a stepson, but still, he's my son. And so I raised him since he was 1. And so he needs to listen. But you can lead a horse to water, right? And the old saying is you can't make them drink. So I don't know, how bad does things have to get before you wake up? And you hope, you try, and you want your kids to do better and things like that. But what I'm finding, it's the kids teaching the parents now. So I'm just hoping that he'll do well with that. When you press on the skin, you force the blood out of the capillaries and the skin turns white. That's not helpful, is it? That's why I never wear hats. I'm never wearing a hat. I never wear hats. When I was at the telephone company way back, I had to wear hard hats on some jobs. But boy, I don't wear. I love the sun. We all have to respect the sun. Get your body alkaline so your body will be like a flower, unfolding and following the sun. Because if I don't get sun, I'm not happy. I got to have sun. I love the sun. I'm like a plant. Without sun, I can wither. So we need sun. Get your body healthy so you can enjoy the acid effect of sun. Because remember, some acids are very beneficial, but the sun has full spectrum chemistry, or magnetics, in other words. I'm incredibly curious about this. How could a hat cause this? And I'm thinking that's probably what you're thinking. Could the same thing be happening when wearing tight hats, resulting in less blood for the hair follicles? You know, I don't know either. I know that his lymph system, he's had dandruff for years. So I know, you know what that means. That means his kidneys are not filtering. He's, his mom has bags, kidneys, adrenals. She craves salt, so there's adrenals. So he's not filtering, obviously. And being a junko eater, you fill yourself up real quick. So now his lymph system, of course, he's so acidic. You know, you're starting to see it on the skin, you know. So I don't know. You know, I try to help, but you can only do so much. You know, everyone has to come to their own time when they use this. You can only be a Johnny Appleseed. You can only suggest and say, you know, you need to fix this. But it's the individual that has to make that effort. And you don't want to force somebody, because cause and effect. That's why if you want it, it's there, and if you don't, okay. That's the way I am too, and I don't mean to be mean, but cause and effect. We must protect ourselves. And you can only give truth. And those souls that are ready to hear it will hear it. And that's all you need to do. Keep yourself free, guys. Julia. Hi, Julia. I have been watching your videos every day. Well, thank you, sweetheart. Love you, and love you too, dear. Thank you so much for doing that. It's a lot of work. Thank you for taking your time and doing that. I appreciate that. But love to you, my dear, because I'll tell you, picking up on these, you pick up on these little tidbits, and you can get yourself pretty open spiritually and really deep into the world of health. It's a lot of fun. And I feel good. I mean, everything is good. It's like Mia here. She got herself out of a frozen state. And there's others. I won't mention any names, because some people get mad when I mention their names. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, you're doing so good. You don't want everybody to know how good you're doing. I mean, you can show the world how good you're doing, because this world doesn't get it. This isn't ego. This is education. This is education. And just like she found out, when you give, you get. It's incredible stuff. I have an interesting question for you. Ooh, I'm interested in this. What you got? I'm a jeweler. Uh-oh. As a jeweler, you ever see women who take off their rings and you see that ring from the jewelry? How acidic is that? How acidic is it when a woman starts breaking down the metals on her skin, or a male? Whew, scary. Scary. When you break down the metals in your own jewelry on your skin, how acidic is your skin? Is that not scary? Whew, not good. I'm a jeweler and notice that when I wear sterling silver necklaces, my skin goes black under the necklace. Uh-oh. Guess I shouldn't have spoke so cool. This used to happen within 10 or so minutes. I assume this was because my skin was alkaline. I've always eaten a lot of vegetables raw. I doubt it, man. I doubt it. Generally, you see the deteriorations of metals out of the acid side. Now, it's true that strong alkalis, but I doubt if your skin is up there around 11 pH. I imagine you, because you're dealing in interstitial and everything else, you're dealing in acidosis, my friend. When I got my very unhealthy assistant, she eats junk food and energy drinks all day. You know, that's funny. I see so much of this Red Bull. I have a lot of friends at a Ford dealership, because I bought in a fair amount of trucks in my life. And these salesmen all pump Red Bull. I say, y'all going to crash and burn one day. I'll be seeing y'all. Now I'm starting to see them a little at a time. Just crashing their adrenals like crazy. Well, you crash your adrenals, you crash your kidneys. You crash your kidneys, you crash your sewer system, the lymphatic system. And where's all cancers, or what the medical doctors call cancers and tumors and things? Thank you. Lymphatic system. To wear it, she didn't get a black mark. Isn't that funny how people that are junking out can be that way. Just understand, my friend, that that's your unique individuality. Your skin is where you have your problems. She doesn't, or your assistant doesn't have the problems in her skin or his skin. You do. So it just means you're subcutaneously backed up in your skin. Get your eyes and see if you have a skin ring around it or you have a thick lymph built around the outside of the skin. Detoxify yourself, and you should not change that jewelry anymore. But I can tell you, there's other parts of your assistant's body that's going down. Cause and effect. You don't get away with anything. You might think you are because you're not looking underneath the skin. In jewelry making, we use hydrochloric acid to clean silver. So I imagine alkalinity makes it go black. I don't think so. I think I see black rings around women's skin when they're highly acidic, not highly alkaline. But, you know, maybe, but I don't know how you can get real alkaline in the skin to cause the breakdown of that. It's true we use hydrochloric acid to clean, and it strips, but you don't know. You might be, hydrochloric acid is around 2 pH. Your skin is going to be about 3 pH or somewhere maybe 3 to 4 pH. So maybe you're seeing at a minor pH, you're getting more of a breakdown of the metal as opposed to polishing. But aren't you polishing also with the hydrochloric acid? So I don't know. But I see more acid involvement when I see the breakdown of metals on the skin, to be truthful. And it's freaky. I see it in earrings. I see it in necklaces. That's scary stuff. However, now I can wear the same necklace for hours without it making my skin. I'm dealing with adrenal fatigue, so I've been doing a high fruit. Look at that! All right, that's good. Fruit and raw diet with steamed veggies at night. I've just emailed off my form, so I'm starting your 14-week protocol. Yeah! You do it, see what I'm doing? So it is acidosis. But remember that chemistry is just, life is just a variances of pHs. So at 1 pH, an acid can be very beneficial. At another pH, it could strip you dead. So these pHs are very, very important. Estrogen is beneficial. Too much estrogen, not so much. The same thing, too much of a good thing, you know what I mean? But at the same time, a balance, a pH, is found at about 7.4 to 8, in my opinion. And that's a better base balance to maintain, where you're swinging a little more, because there's so much. Because just think about this. If elimination is primarily acidic, then consumption must be primarily alkaline. And that's how you find fruits, berries, and melons and vegetables grown properly, picked ripe. You find the dominance on the base side. And I mean, there's some that's not, but those are, you know, grafted and basically mutated lines. Wow, this is cool. I tested the pH of my urine today, and it was 7.5. Now, you're moving your lymph, but still, 7.5 is too alkaline. You need to be in the 6s. I know it can be confusing. If turning silver black is a sign of alkalinity, health, or the opposite. It's the opposite. I don't think alkalinity is turning silver. I'll say that if you got up above, say, 11 pH or more, yeah, it could strip. Definitely. It could burn, you know. I've just got a thought as I am writing this. We use sulfur to blacken silver, so maybe the large quantities of raw cruciferous vegetables I was eating prior to the high fruit was causing the black marks. It could be. It could be you have. Now that's a good question. This might be a real good question there. You might be onto something there. What about those people that have high sulfur content in their body? Huh. Never thought of that. Interesting. Now you might bring up something quite interesting there. I don't know, but I'm saying, I'll tell you what, look at your eyes, take a picture of your eyes with a cell phone, get a selfie, and get real close to what Jen B says about how you take your eyes there, flashlight in the corner, and see if you have orange in your eye. If you got orange in your eye, you might be onto something. Your knowledge of body chemistry would be much appreciated. Well, Julia, I wish my body chemistry was a lot more. It's been a lot of years since I became a biochemist and chemisto. I forgot a lot of my stuff, to tell you the truth. I don't use it, you know, so I forget a lot of things. But you only use what's relative to your profession and what you're doing most of the time. And sometimes you just, when you go to school, sometimes you just grab and cram and pass and go on. And that's the problem, is that when you get out of school, you're pretty much a neophyte, and you need to mature up. And you need someone and that's why you all are going to make great teachers. And I want to groom you for that, because now you're the new practitioners on the horizon, and you all are helping. Some of you are, like I said before, helping so many extreme cases. I'm beyond proud of you, and that speaks for all the spiritual giants, I'm pretty sure. But it took me right away from there. How interesting that was. Well, we'll drop that and go on. All right, this is from Levi. Hey, Levi. Well, Dr. Morris, what do you think about ionic minerals? Are they utilized by the body? Are they harmful? Much love. Much love to you, Levi. You know, I just have this problem, Levi, of ingesting in the human body things that are altered by man. Of course, all things are going to go through this ionic stages. Matter of fact, you constantly, basically, simplicity, look at this simplistically. Life is just variances of going back and forth between these poles of base and acid. And there's just all variances of pH. So life is constantly moving and fluctuating from these two poles. It is understood, though, that to have any degree of health, you can't live in a strictly 50-50 or less base. You have to be more base balance, where the balance is heavier on the base side. That's where you see more nutrition, blood, all of that. Either side of that, you know, can hurt you or take you into two different levels of uncomfortableness, perhaps we could say. But when you're ingesting ionized minerals that man is dealt with, I'd be careful. And also changing the micron availability of water and things like this. You, in my opinion, you don't want to say, God, I don't think you did it right. I want to change the ability of my body's cells to absorb this nutrition, because I think the body needs it that way. I think that's a dangerous thought. I think it's narcissism. I think it's a wrong way to look at that. And I think it'll lead us nowhere but Hellville. I think we should put more attention on how better should we raise our organic fruits and berries and melons, and we should have greenhouses, and we should do this worldwide. We should do the desert of the East and everywhere else. I think our focus should be totally away from that. But we have this treatment-based thinking. Be careful with minerals. Too many minerals are like too many proteins. Be careful. You start to look at the foods that sustain higher levels, they're less minerals. Look at fruits, berries, and melons. The less minerals of all the foods, and yet they're the most healing of all the foods. Interesting. I don't know, Levi, but I'm going to say be real cautious, because you're unbalanced body chemistry. How do you make any substance to mimic nature, magnetically, electrically, in other words, and chemically, by us men putting it together? It doesn't happen. It has the whole earth and magnetics and sun. Everything is needed to be in place. So I don't know why we even try. Because we've lost our spirituality. Or maybe at this level of consciousness it hasn't been gained. But it's enough to say that. We have to start allowing for the Creator's image to flow through. And allow that, ride the beauty of that stream, instead of trying to interface that and change that. So I don't think in that way. Because minerals are hard for the body to utilize firstly. So then we develop chelation. We said, well, we'll full the bowels, we'll wrap an amino acid around that mineral or metal and sneak it in that way. Because we saw that if we give enough of that metal, certain symptoms are eliminated. But if we stop taking it, the symptoms come roaring back. Is that true healing and curing? No, it's treating symptoms. You know, we're talking about chemistry and all that. You got to remember the theories out there are all over the place. Theory this, theory that. And I tell you, you know, I was in the ER and I was listening to something the doctor was talking to someone about. There was another theory. And I was going, yeah, But we only know so much, truthfully. And I think that we need to now stop and make things more holistic. Start looking at things instead of we want to interface and tear things apart. We want them as they're produced. We want to join the respect of all life and understand that we are a part of all consciousness. And that if we see ourselves separate, we will be that. You will be whatever you see yourself as. So if you want to see yourself as a godly person or someone who is emanating or channeling is not the word I want, but, you know, being a vehicle for that level of awareness, you must have that level of awareness. Or at least put yours aside and open the door. And that's where being the observer or the watcher of life is far better. You're always going to be thinking. You know, it's just at times cutting that down or shutting that off so you can be aware. Here's Claudia. Good afternoon, Dr. Morris. Good afternoon to you, Claudia. And it is an afternoon. It's 25 till 5 o'clock, and everybody's going to be hitting the door in about a few minutes. I am extremely fond of your videos. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. You know what? I'm a little quirky today, but I appreciate that. Every time you guys watch these videos, my love goes out to you. I thank you. I try not to have anything on here that's not true. Anything I haven't experienced, you haven't experienced, my clients haven't experienced through all these years, what we've experienced in spirituality. My forte is cutting through the crap. Taking a book on metaphysics and writing you one page. I can take any book on metaphysics and show you how to enter the God-conscious state with one page instead of reading a book. Same thing with health. We have intellectualized things, even spirituality, to death. So we've got these long roads and these treatment-based thinkings and diseases and metaphysics and this will be a heaven in the future and you know, all this sort of thing. Be a positive thinker. Always think positive. Don't be the thinker at all. Because you're aligning yourself on only one side of creation. You don't want to align yourself with creation at all. It isn't you, it's what you're doing. You're the director and creation is your movie. And it is karma driven. It is cause and effect. You're the cause, and when you initiate a thought and a desire, you create. Now, you're pulling yourself into your creation with your mind and emotional bodies that you have. And now, if you have a physical body, some of you don't, but those of you that have, you have to understand that we have visitors here, and sometimes they don't have physical bodies. Get used to that, because you're seeing a lot of shows on TV that are exposing that now. And so you can call them whatever you want, but we have a lot of people that are a lot of individuals that can be here astrally, and we have those that leave their bodies physically to come here too. I've told you some good stories about that in lectures, and people have told me later, I was laying down, I went out of my body, and I was right there and listened to your whole lecture. Sometimes I can see, and sometimes I can't. You know, it's just depends the mood I'm in. You know, and if I get too focused, then I can't see. If I keep my focus, remember I told you, and you do this all the time, Phoebe Quantz. And I want to introduce you, Phoebe Quantz. One of you sent a beautiful picture of me with the long hair. That's Phoebe Quantz. He used to sit here and talk to me while I'm giving a lecture. And I'm trying to listen to this great spiritual being who is touted to be extremely aged, an incredible being training me to listen while I'm talking. And it's like, oh, crap. Anyway, thank you all so much. You know, about 2 years ago, I started living in an apartment during which all I ate was cereal. I think I've been there when I was young. You know, you get into that. You notice all the cereals have BHT or BH. I think it's BHT. People kind of forgot, I think, about BHT and BHA. How bad those are. I think they actually cause fetus mutation and everything else, I think. But BHT, BHA, I mean, it's just like all these preservatives that are mutants. And I can't believe it, because there's a lot of natural cereals out there, and I can't believe that you don't see that in those. I'm always reading labels and looking at things when I'm in the grocery store and going down the aisles. I pick and look and just see where things are going, you know, just for my own thing. And it's amazing. You know, Kellogg's, I would think Kellogg's in particular would start a new trend since Harvey Kellogg. Remember him and the movie that, who was it? I love Anthony Hopkins, although I lost respect for Anthony Hopkins when he said, when he was advertising for the Will Rogers Institute, and they were showing medical doctors, and he said, real doctors. Real doctors. They're not real doctors. They don't know how to cure anything. But it was getting donations for Will Rogers, and I figured he was just echoing what he was paid for. But a hell of an actor. I've loved everything Anthony Hopkins did, but I loved his role in Harvey Kellogg of Battle Creek, Michigan. And guess what? I had a nurse back in 1970, 69, 70, in one of my health food stores that worked for me, that worked at the Battle Creek Sanitarium. I thought it was pretty cool. PBs and J's, chocolate, rice, processed meats, and often drank coffee and alcohol. I'm sure your body didn't love you for that, huh? After a couple of months of living this way, I started to develop acne. Can you see why? Which was unusual for me. I panicked and went to a dermatologist who had me put me on antibiotics. Do you see that insanity? Like bacteria caused your acne? Do you see that insanity? Now what are they doing? They're killing your bacteria that's breaking down your acids. So when you see arthritic and chronic pain issues, they've taken so many antibiotics before that they've lost their bacterium. So now what they have is acid, acid, acid. They don't have their babies to help them break down these acids anymore, and now they're in chronic pain from the acids. Bacteria, I was just telling Marcy this, man, you guys got to realize that bacteria is where we get a lot of our vitamins. Someone once said that shoulder bacterium give you vitamin A. I go, what? There's so much we don't know. Of course, all your bees are produced by bacterium. You kill your bacterium. Someone asked me about B12, but that's through the, to me, that's through the adrenal channel. But you see what I'm saying? When you kill bacteria, you disturb your nutrition. Isn't that funny? But think about God, the Creator. I'm just using that word, whatever you wish to call that the Creator, the head honcho. We have our pet names, but you can see that if you kill your bacteria in your body, you're losing your acid killers, breaker downers, in other words, not killers, breaker downers, and you're also disturbing your nutrition. What can I say? And look at just what, this is the typical order of things. You toxify, you acidify your body, you break down your kidneys, your lymph backs up, your skin is saying, hello, look what's happening. You're backing up in sewage. Your medical doctor hasn't got a clue. Oh, you got bacteria problems. We're going to give you antibiotics. You see the insanity of that? And so you'll just get worse. It might pull it in for a while, and you go, oh, look, that did it. And then, bam, it comes roaring back. You see what I'm saying? So this is why it's so important to understand, go after causative factors. You hit it right on the head. Your diet sucks so bad. You toxified yourself up big time. Now you have to untoxify yourself. How simple is that to understand? We must go back to school. Oh, I panicked. Let me see. Dermatologist. Oh, okay. So I eventually. Oh, that's not a good word. Got off of antibiotics. And that's the thing. Listen to every word people say. Tune in on every word. They'll tell you everything that's going on. All right, because I did not feel like they were helping very much, do you think, honey? And I'm glad you come to that conclusion. And I also did not want to depend on them. I started eating gluten-free and minimalized my protein intake, and a lot of my acne was gone away. Let me read that again. because Claudia here makes a great statement here. I started eating gluten-free and minimized my protein intake, and a lot of my acne has gone away. Now, what if you eliminated all that crap completely? Let's see what I'm saying. However, my face often gets red very easily, and recently it has gotten extremely flaky to the point that it looks like dandruff. Lymph, sweetheart. Get your kidneys filtered, get your adrenals up, get your lymph clean, get your bowels cleaned, right? However, okay, let me see here. It is not itchy, but it makes my face look very old, and I am not sure that I could have triggered this. Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is a lymph, remember. Lymph is systemic. Head to toe. You back it up down below. It backs up at the top. Not good. Not good. It has been this way for the past 2 months, and I've gone to a naturopath. What's the next word's going to be? Who has given me herbs? Thank you. For my stomach as well as for the nervous system, but I am not quite sure it is working. Your opinion on this matter would be greatly appreciated. Well, at least the naturopath didn't tell you to go back on high-protein diet. And look, I barely scratched the surface again. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. But go after your kidneys.
I'm just returning this.
Ah, my dear one. Oh, that's you, Marcy.
See you tomorrow.
I was telling them in level 2, you're going to give them an interesting little discourse on the brain and the racunas in all the animation lifeline, the mental lifelines, all of those things.
Yes,
exciting.
Absolutely.
Isn't that fun?
I'm actually learning too as I go.
Well, we all are.
For it.
We all are. Are you kidding? I'm learning from you guys too. I'm watching you. You're teaching me what you're learning from that, because I never really want to go into that level. Mm-hmm. And I remember this. I told you the female from Ohio. There's a lady from Ohio that's into emotional iridology. Now, I talked to her maybe 20 years ago, so I don't know where. But if we can find her, it would be nice to correlate some real iridology. Oh, come on, say hi.
If somebody knows who she is, give her name. We want her name.
Absolutely. Well, I'm getting ready to end this anyway. You want to take this and read? This is incredible. It's incredible. We want to carry your book, and any of you that write your own books, we'll be happy to be an outlet for them if you wish. The club, that's why I created this club, is to be an outlet, a sharing of the better stuff in life.
This is the first I've seen it. I love it.
It's the first you've seen it?
Yeah. Well, done. Finished.
Oh, yeah. Well, a YouTuber did this. I just showed him this and was talking about if you have any confusion about what species.
I'm thinking the hands. I've seen this one before. I'm thinking remember
no,
Jenny's?
We're doing that right now.
Doing the hands.
We're doing that right now. We're doing the hands and the feet too, to show you the difference between the different extremities that these animals use or to have to procure the food that's designed for them to eat. Yep. That'd be better to say it, I guess.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, cool stuff.
All right. I will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, honey. I'm done. I'm closing off here. I love you guys. We will see you as the sun rises. No. I love you guys. You have a great night. Enjoy your spirituality. Enjoy yourself. Give someone a hug. Clean yourselves out. Clean your bowels out. Get your kidneys filtering. Love everything. And give yourselves a big pat on your backs for being so great. You guys are taking yourself from Hellville to Wellville.